You can finish.
Oh, that's so good. Yum. You know what I like in my mouth?
These nuts.
Some boneless spare rib.
Thank you, Larry. That was fun.
Hold on, I'm gonna have just a little bit more here.
Take your time. Our fans could wait. All 84 of them now. Don't chew into the mic.
No, you don't like it.
All right.
Let's start it.
You ready? All right. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Better Half. I'm Frank, the married guy.
Oh, I am loving this boneless spare rib. And I am Larry, the single guy, and we're at episode 10.
2 digits.
Holy cow.
Who thought it would happen?
Who knew?
Somebody didn't think it was going to happen.
Someone signed a deal with the devil, and by God, I think it was us.
Yeah, but we do have one critic.
You're not gonna
I won't mention him because I don't want to hear you whine and moan about
Listen,
it.
I have a network to run now.
I know you have a network to run, but you better remember this is the #1 downloaded podcast on your network.
I may be par and par with the retro gamers, but we'll see.
Well, the Retro Gamers has more of
A niche?
a shelf life. You're up to episode.
We're up to 61.
Okay, we're up to 10. We got a little,
We're younger.
We're never going to catch up because we do it every other week, and you do the Retro
This
Gamers
is
once
true.
a week.
This is
but
true.
I don't have a spotlight in gaming. We could have a spotlight in dating.
Ooh.
We'll come up with some new segments.
Okay.
I almost said segments.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, you did say segments.
Did I?
Yes.
All right, well.
Yes, I got through.
But hey, so we're actually just coming back from doing another podcast.
Which actually drops this Friday, 2
Well,
days from now.
2 days from now, right?
Yeah, because as we try to figure out the math in
Yeah,
our
we're trying to
heads
figure out the math
from
because
when we
obviously
record.
nothing's live. So yes, 2 days from now, we're going to be the guest host of Victims and Villains,
We're taking over.
the interwebs.
We are. Josh was so gracious enough and silly enough to allow these two buffoons here to take over a wonderful podcast of his.
Yes, I think we did a great job.
I think we did a very good job.
I think his podcast numbers are going to go through the roof now. And
More importantly, ours
yes,
better stop picking
ours
up.
go through the roof now. Obviously, yes. I hope we pick up some fans. That would be nice.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely. Now we just lost about 6 fans now.
There they go. It's funny because I've been on. Look, I'm going to be a little. I'm going to pat myself on the back here.
Go right ahead.
Between the takeover of Victims and Villains, which gives us a whole new. Will give us. I'm so confused at the timeline.
Marty, don't worry about the timeline.
Do you know what this means?
Doc, I don't know. I don't have a good line.
It means this damn thing doesn't work at all. New York Comic Con about 6 years ago. It was probably the first one I went to. Christopher Lloyd was there. He was doing the autograph signing. So me and
I also have I have a Jim Ignatowski impression from when he was on Taxi. I'll save that for later.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's how
just
we
as
closed the show now.
Before record, we were trying to discuss some of my my different
all
impressions.
all four of his
I have
voices.
to write them down.
Write that down.
I have about 7.
So I'm at Comic Con and I'm with my. Was he still my supervisor at the time? Probably not. Actually, I think I may have gotten him demoted. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Good job.
No, really, I was terrible in that
You got
department.
Christopher Lloyd demoted.
No, I meant my supervisor.
Oh.
he
Okay,
may
dog.
he may not be a supervisor anymore because of me. Anyway, great guy. So we go to Comic-Con. Now, before Comic-Con, when I got into the section at my job with him, like one of the first things we clicked on, I don't know how we mentioned, but Back to the Future. And one of his, Tony, there's a shout out to you, buddy. One of his favorite scenes in Back to the Future is when Marty first meets up with Doc in 1955 and he knocks on the door and Doc's got the thing on his head.
The spaghetti colander or something,
Yeah,
right?
no, even more. It was bigger
Well,
than
yeah,
that.
it was
And he's
something
like,
like
no,
that.
don't tell me. You are a member of the Junior Navy. I forgot what the line was. So going through that because he has the.
Would you
orange
fall
vest
off
on.
a ship?
Yeah, that's his grandfather.
Right.
So we used to go back and forth with that line because then he goes, "Do you know?" Because Marty goes, "Doc, I came here from the future in a time machine that you built," and then he goes, "Do you know what this means?" With that look of like, Doc, like I invented something.
Yes.
And he goes, means this damn thing doesn't work at all, meaning the mind reader.
Right.
So, cut now to Christopher Lloyd. I'm online. 2 guys in front of me is cosplaying as Christopher Lloyd with the thing on his head, with that colander thing on his
That's awesome.
head. That's like 1-to-1 scale ratio.
Okay.
He goes up to Christopher Lloyd, and Christopher's like, oh, very nice. Blah. He was like impressed, signs the thing. I go up now to Christopher Lloyd.
Dressed like you.
No, dressed like normal dress. But then I'm like, nice to meet. I always go to when I meet celebrities. Big fan, nice to meet you. I say it every time. So he goes, thank you. And I go,
You didn't say that to me when you walked in the door.
because I don't like you.
Ditto.
So
I don't like me either.
I go up to Christopher Lloyd, and I basically act out the scene. I go, my buddy over there, we actually clicked by that scene, and I'm literally now standing in front of him, and I'm acting the scene.
You're completely fanboying out.
I am like, yeah, I'm like, and then he comes over, then Marty comes over, and Marty says, hey, Doc, I'm in a time machine that you built. And I go, do you know what this means? This damn thing doesn't work at all. I'm literally one-man show, and he's just like staring at me like...
Security.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, can you please move along, sir?
Yeah, see the other 300 people behind you?
Honestly.
Chubby, move it.
Meanwhile, the guy 2 in front of me who's dressed like him does not get a weird look. Me, I get a please don't shake my hand and just keep moving forward.
Yeah,
I'm
again,
the crazy one.
security.
And that was my first real interaction with a celebrity that may have went awry.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, somebody once said never meet your heroes.
Yeah, I've heard about
it. You'll be disappointed. But
I
I met one of mine, and a very similar story. As I've said before, I'm a huge fan of Adam Carolla. I have been since the Man Show. And about 2 years ago, my wife got me tickets to see him at Westbury. And really good seats. I mean, we were like maybe 10th row. In that, and I happened to look across the arena, the theater.
Yeah, it's a small theater.
It's a pretty good. Any seat's a really good seat. And I see one of my friends, one of my fraternity brothers, who's part of a veterans charity which he founded called Project 9 Line.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, basically what they do is they help returning soldiers who have PTSD help quell their PTSD with through art.
Wow.
Comedy, painting,
Okay.
music, whatnot. And they have all these charity events all over Long Island. You could look it up online, Project 9 Line. And I see my friend Patrick, so I wave to him. He sees me. He texts me. He's like, I have backstage tickets to meet him.
Really?
He apparently messaged Adam Carolla's producer, said, I'd love to meet you guys. Come back. So he goes, meet me after the show. And meanwhile, I'm going, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm totally losing my mind. I have a book with me, one of his books, Carolla's books, that I want him to sign. Okay, so I literally ditched my wife after the show. I'm like, you're going to have to wait out here and hold my coat. So she's like, yeah, no problem. Because she knows I'm completely being like a giddy little girl.
Yeah.
We get back there, and he's back there with his, I think it was like his lawyer and and his producer or whatever.
Well, he is Jewish.
Carolla?
No, the lawyer.
Okay, so what does that have? I don't get it.
I will be cutting that out.
Okay, you anti-Semite. That was at 8 minutes and 29 seconds.
It didn't take long at all.
So, no, that's a new state record. Leave that in. Who cares?
I don't.
So we get back there, and now my friend Pat introduces himself. He's like, I'm the founder of Project 9 Line, and Carolla's literally like 4 feet from me, and he's shaking everybody's hands. And they're going down the line, and he's like, I'm a veteran, and I'm like,
Oh, no.
And I'm like, so he looks at me, and I put my hand out. He shakes my hand. I go, I'm just a fat mailman. And he goes, great story, bro. And I'm just like, yeah. I was like, no. He didn't say that. He goes, I love that story, right? So I was like, the way he said it was just like a little condescending, but not really.
Yeah.
Then we all posed for a picture. But then I realized afterwards, I walked out like my head in shame. I'm like, I said to my wife, I made a complete ass of myself. She's like, what happened? I told her. She's like, yeah, a little bit. She's like, so I was like, I need wings. We went and we got chicken wings. But I realized after that he says in his shows all the time when people call up and they say something, he goes, I love that story. So
Oh.
it's almost like not really a catchphrase, but he kind of uses it for. So I'm like,
Kinda blow you off.
And then I was like, he likes me.
There
He
you go.
really likes me. So now I'm like, like I said, I voted for him.
Yeah, you did actually. That's a God honest truth. Funny you mentioned how like almost like mistaken for military. Me and my father, proud Vietnam veteran, we were coming home from WrestleMania in Atlanta, Georgia. So it was a few years ago.
Nerd. Sorry.
Fly-
Something in my.
Me and my father.
Not your father. I'm scared of your father. I would never call your father a nerd. No.
So we're coming home. We're flying Delta now. During WrestleMania, during the fan access, the National Guard, usually the local National Guard for a while, would like kind of sponsor the fan access, and they'd have Guard members there, recruiting and just helping out and stuff. So down there, the National Guard in Atlanta. Was actually doing like this contest. It was like a laser gun It was basically a shooting contest, but it was a laser gun. You go into the dark room,
Okay.
and you fire. There was different winners for different hours of the day.
Pew pew pew.
Kind of. So I mean, it felt like a legit. It was like a pistol. It really was like a rifle. It was more of a
Okay.
pistol.
Not like the laser tag.
No. It was just how it registered the score. Like you'd go in, you'd see a body flash on the wall.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you shoot. So me and my father tried out. Guess who had the high score of the day?
Your father.
Exactly,
Yeah.
my father. So
I know you didn't beat your father.
and I mean, he blew everyone away with the. I forgot what the score was, but he clearly had
took
the
him
top
right
score
back.
of the hour. Oh. I was like,
Some poor Asian kid walked in afterwards. He's like, Mao, Diggy Mao, Mao. Father's like, remember Tex in Dallas, you son of a bitch?
"It's my father. How dare you?" He would
I'm
find that funny.
supporting your
No, I
father.
know.
He would find that funny. Play
Absolutely.
that for him.
So basically, what we
I
won.
love you, Butch. You're my hero.
What my dad won was it was basically a legit military issued National Guard backpack.
Cool.
But it had like it was even for me. It had a WrestleMania 27 logo.
Okay, because it was sponsored by it, right?
Exactly. So on there, so I was like, "That's cool." And it was the city camo. No, not city camo. They're like that digital camo they have now.
Yeah.
So sweet bag. I loved it. So all right. So we're flying home, and of course I use it to put stuff in. And we land in JFK, and the stewardess gets on the line of Delta and goes, "All right, we've landed at JFK. If everyone can just hold off for a moment, we have some servicemen and women who have come home. So if we can let them off first, excuse me, because Atlanta is a huge hub for
Right.
international, a lot of the military. Actually, a giant USO section for families welcome guys home and girls home. It's
I've
amazing.
heard that about Atlanta.
So, all right, so some of these men and women get a standing ovation or clapping and everything. Well deserved. They deserve to get off the flight first. All right, so now we're all getting off. I put my bag on. It says National Guard on it. And I look over, and I see someone, like, about to clap. And I was like, no, like in slow motion. No. I'm like, not me. Him, yes, pointing to my dad, because he always wears a Vietnam veteran's hat. But I'm like, not me. And the guy's like, what? Like, almost, like I don't know what
be
to
so
do.
modest. You know
Yeah,
what?
honestly.
I love that story, man.
Yeah, so that was a
You
funny one.
totally missed it. I totally did a callback there. I did.
I
You
know,
Corolla's line. You just stepped right over it. There's no respect in this relationship.
I didn't step. I heard it.
Yeah, I feel betrayed.
I got
Anyway.
another story about Comic-Con.
Well, hold
getting
that
into
thought.
a fight. No, we'll get to yours, but this is like a lead-in. Comic-Con, getting into a fight with a celebrity, and me trying to impress a girl. All at the same time.
Okay, well, that kind of has to deal with our podcast. But before we get really into our podcast,
Thanks.
why don't we just explain quickly what we did over at Victims and Villains? We
All right.
kind of got off tangent there. So
I completely forgot about that.
yeah, that's what we started out.
Well,
focus.
seeing how this episode is before Victims and Villains, I don't want to give too much away.
Oh, that's right. The space-time continuum is all screwed up here.
That
Hold
show
on.
dropped.
Libyans!
You ever wonder how the Libyans found Doc Brown so easily? The side of his truck says Dr. Emmett L. Brown.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. My favorite part about it is that in the end of the movie, it's Lone Pines Mall
That's
instead
the
of
best
Twin
part.
Pines Mall. I
Lone
had to
Pine
tell
Mall, yeah.
Stephanie that, my wife. I had to tell her that, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I never knew that."
Oh, really? The
She never noticed. She never noticed it.
And there's only one tree in the
There's
logo
one tree.
of the thing.
Yeah.
Not only there's a lot. If you watch all three movies, there is tons of consistency.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh no, I love. I love that movie.
The best part I find it's the littlest detail, but the chip
What's that?
In the clock tower, you know, where Doc slips and makes whole crack.
Oh yeah,
that's consistent even into 2015.
Oh, the broken brick?
The broken pieces is
I
at
never
the jail
noticed that.
in 2015.
I never noticed that. That's funny.
Not only that, you ever see where the extra gets absolutely shit-faced, crashes into one of those pillars in Back to the Future Part 2, and they kept it in.
Yeah, I think so. I think I do remember that.
It's the part when Griff and his goons, they go flying.
Hold on, let me press my chest button.
What was the thing he took? The receipt that he took off of it.
I
never
know.
understood that. It's almost like, you know, like when you take the piece off that's protecting the battery.
Yeah.
When you buy a little toy.
That was Boner from wasn't it?
No, it wasn't him.
Yeah, it was that guy played. See, now I have to look it up.
I don't think that guy was famous.
No, he was from like Growing Pains or something. But you know what
It's either Michael J. Fox or Boner.
No,
no,
not Boner.
Not Boner. Boner was from Growing Pains.
Hold on.
Did you say Growing Pains or Family Ties?
One or the other. No, no, that was
Family Ties.
I said
was,
Growing Pains.
Okay,
right, yeah.
all right. So you're right.
I'm aging myself. Let's see. Back to the Future 2.
Some other things while you're looking that up. So they're. It's when they fly into the clock tower, and one of the stuntmen just absolutely eats it, crashing into one of the pillars. And of course, they keep it in the movie.
Well, why not? Why wouldn't you? Jeffrey Weissman played the George McFly. Well, that lawsuit killed. You know the whole lawsuit between Crispin Glover and I think it was Zemeckis.
Yeah, Zemeckis directed it.
Was
it a lawsuit or he just?
No, he sued him.
I didn't know. It was
a
lawsuit.
Well, because this is completely the wrong podcast for this. But anyway,
no, it's all right.
He what happened was he didn't want to be in the second movie.
All right, I've heard it a little different.
Well, from what I heard, he didn't want to be in the second movie, and because I don't think he liked the way the story was going or whatnot. He's a strange bird anyway. Yeah, he's definitely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But so because they had his face mold and makeup from part one, you know, from all the the prosthetic makeup, they got an actor that looked like him, and then just dubbed his lines. So it was like, "Hey, you, get your damn hands off of her." You know?
I mean, when he goes back.
Well,
at the end of the part
no,
two.
in part two, when he's upside down, you know, floating on the thing in the future, because Dad's back is out again. Yeah, I did it. Well,
he threw his back out playing golf again.
You don't really see a close up of his face, and if you look at that whole scene that he's in, it's the back of his head, the side of his head, and it's because it wasn't him. It was an actor named Jeffrey Weissman who looked similar to him. He sued Zemeckis and whatever the company was that made the movie because you can't use the likeness, and they passed it off as Crispin Glover, and he was sworn in part of the he got a lot of money.
See, this is the first I'm hearing about. Here's a story I heard, which I like this story better. That's a boring story. Suing.
Whatever.
I heard I heard
no.
What happened was Crispin Glover, because he is so cuckoo, he has, what do they call it when they writs that they put into contract, like those, like when celebrities writers. He had writers of he needs 2 hours alone every day. He needs 27 bottles of water near him. He needs his own masseuse to come in at certain times. He was asking for all these weird writers, and I think Zemeckis and Bob Gale were like, no, you're not getting it. So he's like, all right, then I won't work this movie. And the whole reason why they have the whole storyline of him getting shot and killed is pretty much Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis saying, okay, you're not in the movie. So we're just we're gonna kill your character.
I don't know.
Again, I don't know which story's true, but
I remember if you listen to,
Gale.
I think if you listen to one of Jay Moore's podcasts, he actually does an interview with him. That's where I heard it from.
Crispin Glover?
Yeah.
Oh, because I thought I heard it from Bob Gale, to be honest with you. I know Bob Gale was on O&A one time, I think.
I don't know.
Bob Gale also wrote used cars, I think.
Great movie. Underrated movie.
I never saw Used Cars?
It's a horribly underrated great movie, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
No, absolutely.
So I can't find who it is because I don't remember the character's name. I know Billy Zane is one of them, but he goes,
Billy Zane.
He was the one.
He was in 1955.
You can't. What he says something.
No, he wasn't in 2015.
You can't use that over water. That guy.
No, that guy was Asian.
Oh yeah, no, that guy was
the
Asian.
group. The gang in 2015, which included a girl,
Right.
was someone different. Billy Zane was in the gang in 1955,
Correct.
and Elijah Wood was trying to play Wild Gunman. You gotta use
Correct.
your hands. That's a baby
Yeah,
story.
no, you're right, but I'm just trying to. I can't find it. I don't even care. I'm right. You're wrong. That's all that matters. Flea was in Needles. McFry.
I was monitoring that scan you just did. You are
this
terminated.
It's gone off the rails. It's gone off the rails.
This is fun.
This is fun. All
This
right,
is
so
just two guys.
any
shooting the
dating?
shit.
Any dating going on, Larry?
No.
All right.
It's. Yeah, we may just want to maybe change the whole format of the show. My dating life. I'm busy. I got a lot of things happening.
You have a podcasting network.
I do. I have 4 shows now.
Wowzers.
Well, 3.5 because I consider myself a co-host of one of them. So
This one?
no, I'm equally a host on this one
Oh, the co-host of.
my newest show, The Yin and the Yang.
You cannot plug his show on my podcast.
I will be plugging
excuse
everyone's
me,
show.
you not plug. No. Do you
Oh,
plug
your podcast.
I meant our. Do you plug our podcast on the Yin and the Yang?
I think he did. Yes.
because he hates it.
He doesn't say he hates it.
What did he say?
He said
This is okay. I'm gonna say, our mutual friend. I won't say his name is Anthony. His last name rhymes with Rue, and it could be Chew. You could cut that out if you want.
no, he uses his name on his show.
Okay, so he's the co-host of the Yin and the Yang podcast.
the host.
Oh, he's the host. Basically stole my idea of ranting, which was my idea, and I'm sure you mentioned it to him one time. I'm not going to say that he stole my idea, but he stole my idea of being a complete ranting lunatic, and that's fine.
I keep forgetting that you came up with that.
I did come up with it, and now he's gonna use that. Oh no! I have copyright infringement lawsuit waiting for him. You think Huey Lewis made money off Ghostbusters? Wait, Chu Yang. Is he the Yin or the Yang?
He's the yin. I'm the yang.
Whatever.
One cannot
Yin,
survive without the
okay,
other.
well, Chu Yin, I'm coming for you, and I want to know why you blocked me. Yeah, I want to know. Years ago, you blocked me on Facebook. I'm like, how? Wait, I can't find Chu. You ate in my apartment. We broke bread together. Okay? We talked philosophy at parties.
He does get deep sometimes.
Yes, we talked about your park rangerness. I work with one of your friends. I do. I work with one of his friends.
Really?
He knows Anthony.
He knows this.
Okay.
Everybody. He knows.
And
everybody.
this is how you treat me. You block me, and then you criticize the better half. Because soon the name of the show is going to be The Best Half. Okay? Larry and I have no chemistry? How dare you, sir? I challenge you to a white-gloved duel.
a pot off.
A pot off.
Copyright more of the same. 2017.
Chu, I love you. Just don't be a jerk. And give me credit with my idea that you stole. You stole from me. You stole fizzy lifting drinks. Can we just do like movie lines all
I planned on it. I was ready
Okay.
to just quote the rest of Back to the Future.
Milk. Chocolate. Can we talk about the sexual assault in that movie?
Oh, well, what about the blatant incest?
Well, I ain't got no problem with incest. No. Did I say that out loud? No. No.
Every once in a while, you just want to fuck your hot cousin. What can I say?
Don't talk about my cousin like that.
It was a David Tell joke.
Right, I know who David Tell is. But okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Biff.
Yeah.
Griff's
Grit.
part 2. Griff is part 2. Biff basically was date raping the hot Leah Thompson.
Oh, absolutely.
My God, I had such a crush on Leah Thompson.
She was hot back then.
Howard the Duck
Howard the
scene?
Duck, I was just gonna say.
God, a horrible
Oh,
movie.
my
Great
God.
panty scene. A young, nubile, prepubescent Frank was like, I'm going to study.
Or
What do you
you just be like, I'm going to watch Howard the Duck.
Go to watch Howard the Duck. Innocent movie, Ma. He loves that movie. He keeps watching that
Nothing like
movie.
duck on girl action.
Be kind. Rewind. For you young kids out there, we had something called video cassette tapes, and we had to rewind them to bring them back to the video store. VideoVision J7.
A friend of ours actually worked in a video store that asked you not to rewind your videotapes.
Why?
My host there over on the Retro Gamers.
You could say his name.
I was just trying to be witty.
Oh, okay. Why would you not rewind them? Because you wanted to see where people...
No. No, I think it was because they didn't want, because every once in a while, if you rewound it enough times, tape would snap in the VCR. So I guess, and with a video rental, how many times have those videos been rewound? So I remember he had like a block of like 6 or 7 when I used to hang out in the store, like a degenerate. 6 or 7 like auto rewinders, and just when people return movies, he just popped them in.
Yeah, but you're still rewinding them then. You can't. It's just his.
I guess if it breaks there, it's. I don't know.
See, and I say if it breaks there with the people, you could charge them for the thing. Now, no wonder video stores went out of business.
Remember Captain Video?
That was on Avenue U.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. I didn't go to that one. I went to Video Vision on Avenue Z.
Captain Video, probably because it's closed now,
Video.
but the sign is still there. All the movies are probably still inside.
Right.
I accidentally returned my parents' wedding video.
Yeah, you told the
Oh, I
story.
did? Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
Well, it was. I remember it was Captain Royal became Captain Coil.
Captain Royal.
Right?
I forgot.
They had to
about that.
change it because it became Captain Coil right off Coil Avenue, Coil Road, Coil Road, I think it was.
Coil
But
Street?
they changed Coil Street. They changed it. I remember they changed it. It was Royal, and one day I drove by, it was Coil. That's weird. See, we had Video Vision.
I don't remember Video Vision.
Yeah, actually, Frankie, superfan Frankie, he lived right around the corner from it, and they had the life-size video game of Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, my
in there.
God.
Oh, what a great game. Yeah, that was a great game. And it was great because there was a candy store right next door, so a
you
young prepubescent Frank would go get his Twizzlers.
Ooh.
I love my Twizzlers, some Shrinky Dinks, and I would go next door and rent Howard the Duck and play a little Cloak and Dagger, and try not to peek behind that beaded wall. You know? Hey, stop looking in there, chubby.
The beaded wall, the beaded curtain, which always was
or just the towel.
the adult section.
The adult towel section.
I remember in like every video store, the wrestling video section would always be right next to the adult section.
Yeah, I wonder why.
So I'd be like, I'd be looking, and it was a small wall with this one place, and if this was it, I'd be looking at
You're
the wrestling.
looking. Okay, no one can see what you're doing. So.
So I'd be looking at all the wrestling, like legitly looking, and then every once in a while, just kind of start to peek over, and every now and again, I got the back of the head from my mother.
What are you doing? I'm looking at SummerSlam. Mean Gene Okerlund here.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yeah, I love. Yes, rest in peace, Bobby the Brain.
God, I miss video stores. I miss going. We used to go every Friday.
It was a whole thing.
It was.
You want to hear an embarrassing story? I remember at this time I had my driver's license. I was going, and Blockbuster, was killing all the, the mom and pops. So we're in Blockbuster, and I take my stepfather for the first time. Now, the Blockbuster I went to was on Avenue and East 21st. There was a girl who I had a huge crush on from high school. She was actually, when I was a senior, she was a sophomore. And I had a huge crush on her, and she lived right around the corner. So I'd always go there, just with the chance. She ended up, I think, got a job there.
Oh.
So what does my stepfather do? We walk in there, he goes, and she was working, and I'm looking, I'm gonna,
Hey,
how you doing? It's Frank. Remember me from high school? And she's like, yeah, you're the old guy that graduated who's hitting on a sophomore, creepy bastard. And my stepfather, as I'm saying hi to her, he looks over my shoulder. He goes, "Where's the adult section?" And I'm like, she's like, "Oh, we don't have an adult section, sir." And I'm like, he's like, "All right, come on, Frankie." I'm like, I don't know him. I don't know that man.
They didn't have an adult section? I thought
No,
they did.
it was a family fun store.
Someone did that had a red cage. You walked into this red caged off area.
I have no idea what you're talking
now
about.
It's bugging me. I'm trying to remember.
Red Cage. You sure not talking about a wrestling match?
No. It was like I could have. No, it was never a Blockbuster because we never really went into a Blockbuster. But it was some video store. I remember.
They always had great names, like the video stores, like Captain
the
Video.
pornos.
Oh yeah, well, Romancing the Bone.
Just the other day, I was watching Space Boobs in Space.
Say that 3 times fast.
Now, to be fair, it's not a porno. It's one of these dumb
Skinemax.
Yeah, it was on. It's on Amazon Prime. So I'm like, let's see how bad this is. I ended up watching the whole thing.
So you want to hear this? Now we're currently
really no nudity.
We're currently in the man cave. Okay,
We are.
And I was down here one night hanging out, and I just was flipping through on demand, and I came across the premium channels, which and of course I started watching. I was watching a little Skinemax movie or whatever, and not realizing that when you go back to your on demand,
Oh, it's
it's in the recently viewed. So my son wanted to watch some little. A couple days later, my son wanted to watch a little, I don't know, like Paw Patrol or something, and my wife's sitting on the couch, and I'm like looking through the on demand, and it says my shows or whatever it is, and it says like Exotic Hotel or something like whatever the hell it was called, like Sinfully Yours, and my wife goes, "What is that?" I go, "I have no idea." Quickly, and it's like looking, I'm like, yeah, Paw Patrol, get there on the double, and no, I mean, I don't know if she, was oblivious or, my son had no clue. Thankfully, there was no picture. It just said the word. Yeah. It wasn't like the cover of the box, So
those boxes always had to be so oversized.
So oversized and
old,
not accurate. On
I don't think they were really. I don't think they were really
on the box. It was like the odd cover of a video game. It never matched the game. I mean, on the box you have this, blonde, vixen, 19-year-old nubile vixen, and then inside you had like, Ron Jeremy and somebody's grandmother on the actual. I'm like, this isn't in this. This scene's not in there.
The hedgehog.
You know what? Getting off porn for a second.
Hey-o,
getting
that's what
off
she said.
Porn. Get it? Holla.
Hey-o.
Okay. Do you ever notice in certain movie trailers, there's a scene in the movie trailer that looks, fantastic, and then it's not in the movie?
That happens all the time.
I hate that.
That's why I don't watch trailers anymore.
Oh, I love trailers.
No, I love them, but they give away too much nowadays, and B, you're right. Sometimes it's what movie? It was either, I think it was Can't Hardly Wait, where the official trailer was virtually completely different than the movie that came out.
I'm trying to remember what the movie.
Can't Hardly Wait was it was kind of like an all-star cast of the 90s with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I love Jennifer Love Hewitt.
The boy from
School's out and an entire graduating class from football stars and cool girls to complete nerds gather to that's when Nick Papagiorgio has the note.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yes, Nick Papagiorgio. Yeah.
Ethan Embry.
Good Lord, what happened to him after the
He hopes to move in on Amanda, Jennifer Love Hewitt, the beauty he has admired from afar for years. Dorky William schemes to pay back meathead Mike for years of bullying. And would-be rapper Kenny, Seth Green, gets locked in a room with snarky Denise.
Yeah, bathroom.
Lauren Ambrose. Oh, what a horrible movie.
Oh, it's a fun movie.
Let's see what it got on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes sucks.
How dare you?
It's terrible.
It's not.
So the trailer was pretty much them talking about this party in a library, and a lot of it took place in a library. And then when the movie came out, like it went from a library to graduation day. So it was completely different.
Really?
Yeah.
40% on Rotten Tomatoes, certified rotten.
What do critics know?
Hey, listen, there's movies. Used Cars was a fantastic movie. I can't believe you never saw Used Cars.
I never saw Used Cars. But here, critics, I stopped listening.
Kurt Russell at his finest.
That is true. Kurt Russell is awesome.
And the grandfather from Willy Wonka. I think it was his last role. Grandpa Joe.
Really? He was in that?
Absolutely.
When did Used Cars come out? 84? 86?
I want to.
No, maybe earlier than that.
I want to. Okay, we're gonna guess. Let's see who's right.
I'm gonna go with. Well, you know what? Let's see. Back to the Future came out in 85.
I'm gonna go with 82.
I'm going with 84. I'm sticking with 84.
Used Cars came out in 1980. We're both wrong.
Oh, 80?
95% like this movie.
That's fine, but the critic score.
Oh, no, I'm just not on Rotten
IMDb?
Tomatoes right now.
All right.
No, that was just Google. I'll find the Rotten Tomatoes.
The Google.
I like the Google. 75, certified fresh. It's a great movie.
No, I'm not saying the movie.
Have you ever watched it?
No.
Watch it.
Okay.
I don't know where you would see it.
I'll get it on Vudu.
It's fantastic. I have to own it.
Telling you got to go the way of digital.
No.
It's.
I
so
told you,
much...
if there's an apocalypse.
Are you going to be watching movies during the apocalypse?
Maybe. In my safe house.
Would it be inappropriate to watch a zombie movie during the apocalypse? I feel like we should have discussed this on a different podcast.
No, it's not appropriate because you could always use it as reference material.
Because everyone in Hollywood is so smart.
Well, they did back Hillary. And that's enough of the political talk for tonight.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. I think we have a knock on the door.
Who is it?
I don't know. I think we were talking political.
Oh, hold on. Let me
Okay.
open the door.
Larry, I heard what you were talking about. That woman is a bad woman. Bad, evil woman.
How you
Isn't she? She's nasty. Nasty woman.
President Trump, have you seen Back to the Future?
Love Back to the Future. I love 1, 2, 3. I think it's great. Christopher Lloyd is great. Michael J. Fox is great. Leah Thompson's great. I even like Crispin Glover. Little bit kooky, but great. It's all great. Trust me. I know it's great. You know it's great. It's great. Libyans, not so great. You okay, Larry?
Did you enjoy used cars?
Loved used cars. Big fan of used cars. One time I bought a used car. It was a 1981 Chevy Chevette, and let me tell you, it was a good car. It was a great car. And then I traded it in for a 92 Cadillac.
One more question before you leave.
Yeah, I got to go. I got a lot to do. A lot on my plate. Building the wall. The wall's good. I might make it see-through so I could point and laugh at them as they're trying to climb over. We're going to put electrodes in it so they get zapped. It's going to be great. There's bad hombres over there. We don't want over here. We're making America great again.
Okay.
What's your question, Larry? I got to go. Melania's outside waiting in the
Say
helicopter.
her name right. Very good.
I say her name right every time. Isn't she hot? She's outside waiting in the helicopter. Frank's neighbors are getting very mad. Frank, by the way, thank you for letting me come on the show.
No problem, Mr. President. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of you, Frank, and the better half. So, what's your question? Gotta go.
I was going to ask how you got the gig on Home Alone 2, but I guess we'll talk about that later.
Well, they needed my building. They needed my hotel. And I was like, listen, McCorkey, if you... if you want to...
Just go, sir. We can talk next week.
No, I said, if you want to use my hotel, the Donald's got to be in the show, okay? And guess what? That movie, through the roof. My scene, best scene in the whole movie. Okay, I'm out. Trump out.
Bye, Mr. President. Thanks for coming.
Sir.
All right, see you.
Later.
I love that guy. He stops by every week. He's fantastic.
My head's going to fucking explode.
What's the matter with you?
I don't know.
Why would you laugh in front of the president?
I'm laughing with him, not at
That's
him.
rude.
Oh, my God.
That's getting old.
Anyway.
Anyway.
At this point, it's really just more for my amusement.
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to amuse you and the masses.
Oh, I really wish we need to start getting commercial breaks.
We need a sponsor. Speaking of sponsors, I'm going to throw this out to our listeners, all 36 of them. If you personally would like to sponsor an episode, if you own a business and you want to sponsor an episode, we will talk up your business for one episode. We'll work on a price. You make us a deal. We'll come back with a counter offer. That's how we roll. We just want some money. And we will talk. If you own an exterminating shop, I will talk about bugs for a whole episode. Okay, because I have a cave cricket issue in my house.
Honestly,
They are nasty sons of bitches.
I hate them.
If you own an accounting firm, hey, I'll talk about you. I'll talk about your taxes. I'll talk about 401ks. I'm here for you. Do you own a diner? I'll talk about omelets. Okay, I'm talking to you fans. I'm talking and I'm looking right at you. Be my sponsor. Be
our
Be
sponsor.
our
Our.
All right. Be our sponsor.
Why do I have a strange feeling when this takes off? I may be looking at you and the.
I've already
Dust
copyrighted
traps.
everything without you,
What?
just so you know.
What?
No. Seriously, be our sponsor. And, I don't know, we'll work on something. $25 an episode. I don't know, something like that.
An hour.
Okay.
Which is an episode.
Okay, which is about an episode. All right, whatever. We'll work on something. We'll go to a contract. I got a notary. We'll do it. Let's work together. I help your business. You help my podcast, our podcast, and it's a win-win.
Help me to help you. Help me to help
Help
you.
me to help you. Help me.
You just
Help you. Me. Help.
Why do all the guys I do podcasts with are just dying to quit their jobs and to get the podcast just rifling off the roofs?
Why do all people on podcasts? Because think about it. You're in a basement hanging out with your friends, talking crap that you would normally talk around when you're at a barbecue playing Cards Against Humanity.
That's what I.
Cards Against Humanity.
Great.
Be our sponsor.
Ooh, there we go. They probably would.
They would.
They probably would. I don't think they'd like our guest, but they definitely would want to be on the show.
Well, I'd have no control of who walks through that door.
This is true.
You know, I mean, for all I know, Harry Carey could walk through that door. Jim Ignatowski from Taxi, Christopher Lloyd could walk through that door. You know, Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller could walk through that door for all I know.
Was Ed Rooney and no, not well.
It actually wasn't Ed Rooney.
It's
It was
Simone's
Simone's father.
Simone.
And Sergeant Peterson, Chicago Police.
I forgot about that. Was it the same voice?
Same voice.
Same. With,
Same voice.
Same with Abe Froman.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Sausage King of Chicago.
Are you saying I'm not who I say I am?
Not Simone. What the hell's her name?
Simone.
I guess it was Simone.
Thanks, Simone. No, it wasn't Simone.
It wasn't Simone.
Crap.
Talks amongst yourselves. A peanut is neither a pea nor a nut.
Murmur.
Discuss.
Murmur.
Sloan.
Sloan.
Sloan, dear.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
See? I knew it would get.
Weird family. Hey, bada, swing, bada.
What's the score? 7-7. Who's winning? The Bears.
You want to talk about Howard the Duck? He scared the shit out of me in Howard the Duck.
He's been in a few strange movies. Now, didn't he also get arrested for like child porn or something?
No, I don't think he
Yeah,
did.
he was in Ferris Bueller. He was in Howard the Duck. He did scare the crap out of me in Howard the Duck. And he was
Especially that
also
part
in
when the
Mom and Dad Save the World with Terry Gaw.
God,
Terry Gaw's underrated.
Yes, that was
She's-
it. Roll in the hay.
Sure.
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I know that movie. I don't memorize it.
Mel
Except
Brooks.
for Wake my kid and I'll kick your ass. That giant cackle of yours.
do 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 do.
Come on, Pee Wee. I'm trying to listen to reason. Francis hasn't done enough work.
What are some of the scariest moments of children's movies?
For me?
What do you think in
Okay,
general?
well, it's not a children's movie, but it's a movie I saw as a child. Pet Cemetery.
Oh, that don't count. But we'll go
A
with
children's movie.
it.
That's,
Like in other words, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. When Large Marge flips out and does the face thing,
I thought that didn't scare me.
that scared me.
That didn't scare me.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when they're
that lizard. No, when they're in the boat.
When they're in the boat.
But the boat scene didn't scare me. But there was that one lizard that crawled over that lady's lip when it was in the background. It's like a millipede in a.
Yeah.
That freaked me out.
Oh,
I'm trying to think. See, not a lot of movies scared me. As an adult now, though, like a movie like Hostel or Saw freaks me out.
yeah, no,
Like the scene in Saw 2 when that girl falls into the pit of needles.
oh, it falls. She gets thrown into
yeah.
it.
Oh,
I thought that was the best scene.
that
But it does like But you wanna talk about that? Did I tell
First
you?
of all, who gets that? Where do you get that many needles from?
Well, I mean, when you're a psychopath, I guess.
Yes, I'd like 10,000 marbles, please.
But you want to then? Did we talk about this last time? The wrestling show that I went to a couple weeks ago. Did you see my posts on Facebook?
No.
So I have a
And you know which post I'd never see? Choose. Never see his post because he blocked me.
Not for a while. You weren't seeing mine either.
Yeah, I still don't see yours.
That's impossible.
It's not impossible. You don't let me see your post.
Well, in any event, a couple weeks ago, I went to this wrestling show because I'm working a wrestling, or I worked by the time this drops.
Wrestling.
I worked a wrestling show in New Jersey. I'm actually doing the backstage interviews and stuff like that for the podcast. So I'm going to be interviewing
nice,
some of these
very
wrestlers.
nice.
It's pretty cool. And so 2 weeks prior to that, we went to this show called Game Changer Wrestling out in Freeport, New York. Me and the guy who owns this other wrestling show, Pro Wrestling Syndicate, Frank Mayer. Frank, what's going on? Different Frank. So we go to this show, and it's in like this warehouse, if you will, in Freehold. I'm like, all right, no problem. It's a small indie federation, maybe like 200 people or whatever. I've been to smaller shows. So I'm walking back behind the place, and we're getting ready to walk inside, and I hear the noise of wrestling that I'm used to. I'm like, all right. Then I hear something crashing through. So it sounds like someone was put through a table, as they do. Like, all right. So as I'm walking up closer, though, they're bringing out to outside. They're bringing...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Very unprofessional of me. Sorry.
I've been eating this
I
whole
was
time.
drinking.
So they brought out a board of barbed wire. I was like, oh, all right. Someone went through a board of barbed
I
wire.
did see a picture of, I guess it was the garbage afterwards or something. It was laying out in the street.
Yeah. Basically, unbeknownst to me, I went to a deathmatch tournament. So basically, I saw people go through like cabins, if you will, of light tubes, like the fluorescent light tubes.
Okay.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I know.
That's fun, because especially when none of the windows are open and all that carcinogenic smoke is just floating all over the place.
Hello, cancer.
Along with just glass flying all over the place, because
Yeah.
it's legit. It is 100% legit. I saw a
There's
guy.
something in my hot dog.
Honestly, I saw. It's funny. All the cameramen were wearing face masks, but everyone in the front row, nothing.
Yeah.
I saw a guy put a fish hook through another guy's cheek.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it. You gotta stop.
And
Stop.
then
Stop it again.
whip him off the top rope with the fishing rod.
Please stop.
That was an interesting one.
So
Now,
I'm not even looking at you.
and I'm just watching this happen in front of me. I'm supposed to be handing out flyers. I'm like, I can't. I'm enthralled as to what's happening here right now. Like 40 minutes after this one guy's match, he's out trying to sell his merch at one of the tables, and he's just covered head to toe in blood.
And hepatitis.
Probably cuts are all over the place. I'm seeing wounds that are still open.
Can you sign this without blood on it?
And he just nonchalantly walks into the bathroom and washes his hands. I'm like, pal, you got a lot more to worry about.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
But I was like, oh, and then the best part is, out of nowhere, the cops show up.
That's nice.
And people started running like flies.
Oh well,
Well, cockroaches.
cockroach.
So,
I love that story.
yeah, I was like, oof. I don't know
That's
what
gross.
happened
Please
here.
don't talk about. I don't like fish hooks or anything like
Yeah, that was a wild one. That was
Yeah,
fun.
no, I don't like. I now
The,
as an adult watching stuff like that, it's just
The
like I watched.
the board of double-edged razor blades. That was an interesting
Well,
one.
everyone
too.
has one of those, but I just can't watch that stuff. It just I watched the first two Saws, and then I haven't watched one since. And
Yeah.
I saw Hostel.
I never saw those.
I don't know. There's a certain it's a certain
Je ne sais quoi?
No, shut up with your nonsense. It's a certain
the
genre
French-
of horror.
I don't know what.
It's
okay.
like
It's
shock horror or something like that. But
Yeah, that's what Saw did. Saw
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of took it out of the supernatural and was almost like,
Was that
this could happen.
the Carrie Yules.
Carrie Yules.
Yules.
Unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent.
Good line. Another good movie.
Great movie.
Sudden interruption.
Ooh, it's been a little while. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't even have one. I just wanted to say it.
Oh. What's your top 3 Mel Brooks movies in order?
Oh, jeez. Top 3 Mel Brooks movies in order. Spaceballs, number 1.
Excellent. Good choice.
I would have to say The Producers.
Which one?
The Producers,
Those two of them.
the original.
Okay.
And then Blazing Saddles.
Okay. Very good.
I actually might Blazing Saddles 2, Producers 3. I'll reverse that.
Fair enough.
Strike that. Reverse it.
This Laurel and Hardy handshake. No longer took me to get that joke. Honestly,
You're an idiot.
It wasn't until like right the last few years I finally put 2 and 2 together on that one.
Yeah, I like that. Well, you know, the funny thing about Blazing Saddles is Richard Pryor wrote most of the racist jokes.
You know what?
Don't want to trigger anybody.
I hear you, but it's a funny movie. I don't care what anybody says.
Hysterical movie.
Absolutely hysterical. With our new, I go Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men in Tights, and then I'm back and forth.
That's a Mel Brooks movie?
Men in Tights? Oh, absolutely.
I didn't realize that.
He's in the movie. He plays Rabbi Tuckman.
Okay,
in the one
I
scene.
believe you.
He's selling circumcisions, and they're like, "What's a circumcision?" I take your thing, I put it in the thing, and I nip the tip. It's a little guillotine.
Oh, you know what? There's also History
I
of the
already
World
have
Part
to.
2.
That's what I was going to say. I go back and forth between History of the World Part 1 and Blazing Saddles as my third one.
I love Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles is great, but so is History of the World. The Inquisition. Let's begin the Inquisition. Look out, sin. I bet you wishing.
Are you sure it's a Mel Brooks movie?
Absolutely. Because in the beginning, they go, the opening credits
directed
is...
Mel Brooks, yeah.
is fire arrows. And they're like, leave us alone, Mel Brooks. Because like, why does every Robin Hood movie start with a house going on fire?
That's right. That's right. A lot of good movies. I love movies.
I like a good laugh. That's what I love a good laugh. I remember one time. You're gonna because I know you hate these movies, but Ted 2 really saved my day one time.
I didn't. Okay, you see,
I
didn't.
Ted.
I did not hate Ted. I liked Ted, but I didn't think Ted was as great as you said it was.
I thought it was hysterical.
It was okay, but unfortunately, Ted 2, which I didn't see.
Oh, you haven't seen Ted 2 yet?
No, Ted 2. I mean, because Ted 1, you have the whole new concept of a movie. You have this this talking bear that came alive or whatever, and then Ted 2 is basically you now have to have a story because you can't rely on the shock of this talking bear. Now I didn't see Ted 2, so I'm not going to comment on it. Ted 1 was alright. I didn't think it was great. You were like, "This is the best movie ever made."
I thought it was hysterical.
And I hate when you're like, it grossed this overseas and here. And
I didn't say that. I don't say that.
When we had the original argument the first time, and I was like, it was alright. You were like,
well, it may have been the highest grossing R-rated.
And then once
you
said it was the greatest movie, I'm like,
I didn't say it's the
you
greatest
said
movie.
It was I said I had to go with that movie sucked just to piss you off.
It's a great movie.
It's not a great movie.
It is,
It's
but
an
Ted
okay
2,
movie.
I thought was better. One of the few times I thought the sequel was better than the original. And I remember I was at work.
Really, The Godfather 2 was not better than. I didn't see The Godfather.
I own the trilogy, but I've only seen the first one.
Disgusted me.
I'm not Italian.
So what does that mean?
So
You're not a
just had
wrestler
a
either.
terrible. I will be on Saturday. I had a miserable day at work this one time. Just an absolute
Wow, I'm shocked.
god awful day at work. Like to the point where
Ted 2, 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes stinks.
It's fresh. Okay, so
I don't
yeah,
care.
you're right. They're wrong. The movie sucked.
So I mean, like to the point where like I should be talking about this on Victims and Villains. Like I was ready to just take my car and just whatever was in front of me, just keep going. Like I just had a god shitty day.
I've had those days.
And I remember I
How
went
far
home.
can this full tank of gas get me? And that's where I'm going to live.
I just meant whatever is in front of me, whether it's a wall or the edge of a cliff. I'm just going. It was one of those days.
Right. Paging Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
So I get home and I rent because a buddy of mine was telling me about it, and I rented Ted 2, and I haven't up until that point, like I hadn't laughed so hard in my where it was hurting. Like you laugh so hard, just a belly laugh.
Right.
Oh God, that movie really turned me around.
The last movie that I laughed like that in the theater that I can remember, there might be one or two after, but the one that I remember that sticks out to me was Something About Mary.
Okay.
When I watched that in the movie theater, I laughed so hard. Like I was like you said, belly laughing. Tears were coming out of my eyes because that was just shock value at its core.
I'll tend to laugh in the movie theater because I'm with other people, but Ted 2 I watched at home because I rented it. So I was at home.
Right.
And I usually, I don't know if you do this, like if you watch something that's funny, when you're by yourself, you find it funny, but you may not necessarily laugh out loud.
Yeah, you just kind of go,
yeah, or just
chuckle.
sit there and just watch, but you still find it funny.
See, that's one thing I love about my sweet wife is she could watch something and I'll be in another room, whatever, if I'm in the kitchen or the bedroom, whatever, and she's watching something and she finds it funny. She will laugh so hard and she will slap her. I imitate her to her. She'll slap her knee and she'll go. She'll laugh so hard. It just generally amuses me, and I just every time if I'm in another room, I just smile to myself because that's one of the qualities that I love about her because it's just so innocent, But like we just trying to stay on a little bit of topic here. We just got back. We celebrated our 10-year wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Mazel Tov.
Yeah, Gesundheit. And no kids. We went away for the weekend, and
Nice.
Yes, my parents watched the kids, and it was fantastic. And after I figured I had to turn the sound bar on in the TV in the inn we were staying in, I turned the TV on, and it's like no volume, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I paid a lot of money for this goddamn thing, And we were just kind of in bed watching a little TV. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and
Okay, I gotcha.
and I'm like,
Woo-hoo. Hubba, hubba.
right, yeah. What was that from?
Simpsons.
Yeah, annoying. It's funny because it's true. And yeah, no. So, and I forgot what show. Oh, I think it was was it Impractical Jokers came on or something? And she just busted out laughing. I mean, it was loud. It was so I just kind of I was like. Good time. I mean, 10 years of marital bliss, and we never had a fight. Right. I think we actually had a fight on the way there.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, but no, it was good. Much needed getaway. So
That's good.
someday maybe you'll have a 10-year anniversary of this podcast.
That's probably what it's going to be. Because like when I was
Episode 100.
like to go back, like you can watch movies with your wife. I'm laughing like a madman, and it's only me by myself. Like I'm not sharing it with anybody.
Right, when you look over to your right, and you go, yeah.
Which is a little bit depressing. Yeah,
Not
there have
depressing.
been road trips I've taken if I'm driving by myself or flying somewhere by myself, and I just happen to have like an empty seat next to me. I have looked over and just been like envisioned somebody there.
You obviously never heard about my road trip to New England by myself.
No.
It was take you back to August of 2001. All right. I was having a crap year. The job I was doing wasn't working out so well. My grandmother passed away. My dog passed away.
Ooh.
And I was just stressed. I was like not happy with the way my career was going. I was working in television at the time.
Okay.
And it wasn't taking off as fast as I wanted. So I needed a break. I had my truck, my Ford Explorer.
Nice.
I don't know if you knew me when I had my Explorer.
Probably.
You definitely did.
Okay.
So because I had it when I had the apartment. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
and I told my son I'm hitting the road for a couple of days. And this was before apps. This was before cell phones.
I got something about that later, but okay.
Well, it was not before cell phones,
No,
but it
it
was
was
before smartphones.
Yeah, exactly.
And I went on to AAA. I got a couple of TripTix maps and
Oh my God, that's right.
yes, TripTix. Remember that? And I just I ordered a bunch of maps of all of New England. I said, you know what? I'm just going on a road trip. And I had a video camcorder that I borrowed off my friend, and I mounted it to my dash. I had one of
Really?
the first dash cams. Okay, and I just I would take it off and turn it towards me, and there was a lot of me I guess video selfies of me going, okay, here I am in Maine.
Before it was a law.
Yeah,
that you
right,
couldn't do
exactly.
that.
And I remember I drove up to Gloucester where they had the Perfect Storm, where they filmed the Perfect Storm.
Oh,
the
yeah,
town
yeah.
where they originated from. And I ate at the bar that they not the one in the movie, obviously, but the
Yeah.
actual bar where they all hung out, and there was a big picture of them, and then there's a picture of George Clooney and Mac Wahlberg.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Say hi to your mother. What's up, monkey?
It's a transformer.
No, do you see what's his name? Is it Adam Sandberg does an impression of him on
No,
Saturday
that's
Night
where I
Live?
got. Say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah, well, I know. He goes, "What's up, monkey?
Oh,
How you doing, monkey? You think you're better than me? Say hi to your mom."
I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Him, Mark Wahlberg, and that other guy who looks like a rat. I just got a cramp. Sorry. I worked 11 hours today. Leave me alone. You want to? We'll talk about that. After.
You want me to massage it for you?
Oh, no, I just got a cramp. Fuck, that hurt.
Okay.
Sucks being over 40.
I may have to count.
All I did you see what I did? All I did was shift myself in the seat, and my whole thigh cramped. Look, I walked 10 miles today. My legs are killing me. I had to train somebody who is slower than crap. You know, it's like when you're
Here's what
sitting
you
there
do.
waiting.
You take the mail. You
No,
put
he
it in
couldn't hold the mail right. It was that's a whole other. Anyway, so
Okay.
went up there. I shot up. The first night I slept at a motel owned by two Indian people somewhere in New Hampshire, and Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I went from Boston to Massachusetts to
Gotcha.
New Hampshire to Maine, across the Maine to Vermont. And
Oh wow,
down.
you went. Okay.
I went over. Yeah, I went.
I see.
So I went to it was in New Hampshire, and I stayed. And first thing I did was I pulled the bed sheets down, and there was a giant hair on the bed. I mean, not like a hair. I'm talking about a giant hair. It was like from a dinosaur. It was huge. If dinosaurs have hair, this is
4 inches in diameter.
it was like more like a cable that holds a bridge up. Okay, it was. And
I
I
looked
was
at you and
like,
went, can you please put the curtain back?
I rang the front desk, and I'm like, yeah, I need a different room. And they're like, what is wrong with the room? I go, there's a giant hair on the bed, and I was waiting to go, just take the hair off. No, it's not happening. So the next bed,
curly?
No, it was straight.
Oh, okay.
It
Ooh.
was like a giant hair. Okay, it probably was. No joke. In all reality, it was probably about 18 inches long. It was fucking huge.
Wow.
So they gave me another room, and they were probably like, this prima donna, this ain't the Hilton, you know?
Yeah.
So I literally went to the next room. I slept in my clothes. I took a shower. I slept in my clothes over the covers. You know, I was just like, it was one of these hotels where you put the chair up against the doorknob kind of thing.
Oh,
you know,
geez.
yeah, like Norman Bates or the Indian version of Norman Bates was going to come through this door. You know, Indira Bates was going to come through this door and kill me. So left the next morning. Shot up to Portland, Maine.
Okay.
Beautiful city. So far, so good. I said, screw this. I stayed at a Marriott for one night.
Nice.
Surprisingly, on a weekend, I got a room for one night in a Marriott.
Fancy.
Yeah.
You didn't pre-book these, did you?
I had no reservations anyway.
Oh,
None.
my God.
Stayed a day in Portland, left, drove across the state of Maine to Vermont to the White Mountains, which is like you drive up the mountain.
Oh, okay.
You can see like 3 states.
Yeah.
Before I went up the White Mountains, I stopped off to get gas and, check the oil on my truck.
Yeah.
I fill up the tank. I check the oil. It's fine. I go to shut the hood, and my hood won't shut. Like, it's not stuck in the all the way up position, but it's stuck
won't
like
lock.
literally it won't lock.
Yeah.
So now I got to drive on the highway. I'm like, this thing's going to shoot off like a scene from Grand Theft Auto or something, And I'm like, so because of my job, I had a bunch of like little bit of tools in the back and everything. And I took a ratchet strap and I just strapped the roof. I strapped from bumper to bumper, from wheel well to wheel well. No, wheel well to wheel well, and I just strapped it down with a ratchet, not realizing I was completely scratching the shit out of my hood. And you know how I am with my cars,
man.
But I had no other choice.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, all right, do I just go shoot straight home, or do I continue with my trip? So I continue with my trip. I go up the White Mountains. I look around. I do the Clark Griswold, head nod, and then I go, Grand Canyon, crap, and I leave. Now I got to find a hotel. Okay. What are you doing?
Something flew into my mouth.
I do have a cave cricket problem down here. And
that what?
it's probably a gnat. It might have just been dust. Relax yourself, okay? Stop being so dramatic. It's a little protein. So what? If it's good for the cast of Survivor, it's good for you. So then I can't find a hotel. I'm like, shit. Uh-oh. So I'm driving down this road, and this is a road, like I literally, at one point, this road was so empty and dead that I'm like, yeah, Jason's going to pop out of the corn stalk. And I literally at one point just got out of the car, and I stopped in the middle of the road, and I like circled around my car in the middle of the road. And I'm like, no one's on this road. I'm going to die. Now, I literally, at this point, this was earlier in the day. This is towards the end of the day. So now I got about a quarter of a tank of gas. And I'm like, I got to get gas, And again, no GPS, nothing. So, and I'm driving down this road, and it's just dark. I got my brights on. I'm like,
one of those.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, there's nothing.
Yep.
I mean, and I'm like, I'm going to die on this road. This is the road that Frank Messina was last seen on, the dusty road.
Found curdled.
His car was found in the middle of a cornfield. No sign of his body.
Dun, 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 dun.
So,
why I did Law and Order.
Was that
or
Law and
something.
Order?
Yeah, I think so.
Da-dong. So I finally see like a little bit of a light up ahead. So I go, and it's a gas station, but it's not like an Exxon. It's like Jed's gas station.
Okay, yeah.
So I pull in, and it's completely dark. I'm like,
it's one of those gas stations that like close.
Yes,
which I find so odd.
But like there was a guy lived above it. There was a light on in the house, and I'm like, yeah, no. I'm just gonna keep driving. So I literally like I pulled in, and it had the I guess that rubber hose that you go ding 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 ding. And at that point, I went, yeah, no. And as I pulled away again, I see like a silhouette in the upstairs window. And then I just stepped on the gas that much faster. Yeah. Go on now. So I take off, and I end up, and I forgot where I was in Vermont, but it was some sort of like, they said it was a college town. I can't remember the name of the town.
They're all college
But
towns.
there was a hospital.
Ooh.
So I said, all right. I went to go park. I went to the hospital parking lot. I had a truck. I had a pillow, and I had a blanket just for this occasion. If I couldn't find a hotel room, I was going to crash in the back of my truck.
Crash your truck and sleep in the hospital.
Well, there you go. So, but then how would I have gotten home? So, you done? All right, cut that out.
I'm good.
At 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Ooh, all right.
So I then go to this corner of the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's probably about 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, all right, I'm not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I just literally I shut the engine off. I cracked the windows. I cracked the the back window a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go to sleep.
Okay.
And about half an hour later, I hear clink, clink, clink. What the hell are you doing? I wanted to go, I'm resting, but
What do you think I'm doing?
And it's a hospital security guard, of course they see a green Ford Explorer with New York plates, and it's parked off in the farthest corner of the hospital parking lot. Yeah. Either somebody's having sex or getting killed. No, it's just a fat guy sleeping. Okay. He goes, you can't sleep here. I go, listen, I can't find a hotel room anywhere. He goes, come here. He goes, see that green light right over there? And there's a green neon light. It's literally 200 feet away. He goes, there's a hotel right there. He goes, move it. So I'm like, all right. It's like a Saturday night. The odds that they're going to have, a room, college town, Saturday night.
You got a room for rink?
Got a room for rink? Good one. Popeye, 1981, I think. Or 1980. 80. Oh, Popeye.
Popeye was my very first word.
I'm sorry to hear that. I think my very first word was chicken parmesan with spaghetti. So I go and I pull in and vacancy.
Wow.
So I got the last room.
There you go. You don't have to share with some weird
It's a suite. I'm like, it's a suite. It's got a screen door. What kind of suite is this? It was like one of those economy things that had like the kitchen in it. It was the last room. It was like $2. I'm like, oh, fuck. It was like the last of my money. I'm like, I had no choice, I'm like, part of me was like, screw it. I'll sleep in my car again. But I had, but I was like, you know what? I really wanted a shower. I was sweaty and grimy. So I was like, $200 for a bed and a shower. Fine, whatever it was. So the guy walks me to my room. And he's like, he's like the short guy from Smokey and the Bandit, Little Enos, or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Williams, and he's talking to me, and I'm like, so he's like leaving me. I go, I had some food from a restaurant that I went to earlier. I go, the room's got a fridge because I didn't want, I was
Dirt for a
poor, I wanted to have, some food, in case I got hungry in the morning or whatever. So I wasn't throwing anything away. I was like, oh, I'm sucking on bubblegum wrappers, and he's like, oh yeah, it is. So he meets me at the door, and I'm like trying to shut the door, and he's like just talking to me, and I'm like, okay, Paul Williams, just go away,
Is this where I have to give you a tip?
Yeah, no, yeah, like don't look directly into the sun. So I go, can I get a wake up call? He goes, sure, no problem. What time? I go like 7:30. So he goes, okay. I go, I turn, I shut the door, I lock the door, I take a crap, As I'm finishing in the bathroom, I hear knock, knock, knock. I open up the door, and it's Paul Williams, and he's got another fucking alarm clock in his hand. He goes, here's your wake up call. I'm like, dude, are you serious? I was like, it literally was an old wind-up alarm clock. And I go, and I said, this is the most unique thing I've ever said. He goes, well, this is the first hotel ever built in Vermont. I was like,
there you go.
Well, there you go. I was like, okay, well, that explains why you're a crazy person and I'm, paying $200 for a Econo kitchen. Okay. So, that was that. And then I went over to the Ben & Jerry's factory the next day and then shot down to where my dad was living in upstate New York. And then I picked up a mattress in Box Springs that my uncle, my stepmom's brother-in-law made mattresses in Box Springs. So they put that, strapped that to the roof of my car, came back over the Verrazano Bridge, took one last look at, this was the end of August of 2001.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Saw that I was home when I saw the Twin Towers. Completely stress-free, and about 12 days later, the world came to an end, and I was like, I need a vacation.
Yeah.
I was stressed out.
Let's try this again.
Let's try and reboot. So, yeah, that was
all right.
All for naught.
Hey, listen, sometimes you just got to get in and go.
But I did get a nice lobster roll.
Nice.
And have it pack.
There you go.
Cocksuckers.
Wicked.
I hate that accent.
I don't mind Boston people.
Well, because you're a Patriots fan.
Don't get me started with the NFL. I'm done with them.
I'm done with the NFL.
Yeah, me too.
That's another topic in another podcast.
That's yeah, absolutely.
I did have a sudden interruption for you here somewhere on my desk.
So
Shuffle.
This mess of a desk.
I know where everything is on this desk until my wife starts moving crap.
There's a place for everything and everything in its place.
That's what. Right. Why is it just a blank piece of paper?
Look at that. How do you know what anything is?
Because I have a system.
There's mail all over the place.
This is not mail. These are just old bills. Why is there a used napkin?
What is that?
Gross.
That is.
I might have.
Is that a Ferris Bueller frisbee that's in there?
What?
Or
No,
New
that's
Kids
New
on-
Kid-
oh, that's
New
New
Kids
Kids on
on the
the
Block pin. We were cleaning
my
out
God.
cleaning out my father-in-law's house,
It's the size of
and
my head.
we were cleaning out my father-in-law's house because he's selling the house, and I found a bunch of my wife's old New Kid stuff, including that pin. So she was here. I was at the new house. I pinned that to my shirt, and then I went on my way home. But then I stopped at Dunkin' Donuts to get a nice coffee, forgetting that I had that on my shirt. And the Indian woman behind the counter is looking at me like I have three heads, and I'm like, "Yeah, can I just get a nice coffee? You know, half and half."
Why is everyone you go to? Why are all the employees Indians?
Because we've been invaded.
What is it? It's like Red Dawn.
Avenge me, boys! Avenge me!
Wolverines.
No, but so, and I'm looking, and I come, and my wife just busts out laughing. And I'm like, "Is this Jordan?" She's like, "It's John," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. They're all
John.
okay." You know,
That was
and-
like today that someone was playing, like talking to my supervisor, like, oh, like jokingly, was like, oh, this is your favorite song, and winds it up a little bit, and it was Spice Girls, Wannabe. And he's like, oh, that's not my favorite
I
song.
don't
blah, blah, blah.
understand that song. If you want to be my lover,
You got to get
gotta
with my friends.
What does that mean? You got to bang my friends, or you got to like be cool with my friends?
Well, it's more of a British thing because it's if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Living is too easy. That's the way it is. So
That's-
here's the story from A to Z. You got to get with me. You got to listen carefully. You got M in the place who likes it in your face. You got G like MC who likes it in the easy V doesn't come for free. She's a real lady.
Oh my God, you are the worst.
By the way,
Why do you know that?
Posh Spice
Why do you
has
know
no
that?
lines in that song.
Why do you know that? She has to have a line in that
She's
song.
all right. She's in the chorus. That's
Is
it.
Posh the Beckham?
Victoria Beckham. Yeah. Well, she was originally
Victoria
Victoria.
Old Spice? Oh my God,
They're
that's the name of their reunion
They're
tour.
all Old Spice.
That's the name
now.
of their reunion tour, Old Spice, or sponsored by Old
What
Spice.
the hell was her maiden name?
Victoria
No,
Guggenheim
there
or
was-
Schmitz. And
Jerry Halliwell, Emma Button,
why do you know this?
Melanie Brown, Melanie Chisholm.
I'm embarrassed for you. This is why you're single, because you know this.
I have no problem admitting that I was a huge Spice Girls.
Okay, I have a confession. It has nothing to do with Spice Girls, though.
fan. What? Why do all my stories get blown off?
Okay, go finish your story, and then I'll.
Well,
I'll
no,
finish.
that was
no,
pretty
no,
much
finish
it,
your
but-
story. Why do you know? I don't know why you know that.
Because I know their
Okay,
album
you're a
of two
legitimate
songs,
fan.
of two,
You're a
of two
legitimate fan.
albums.
I can't believe I'm admitting this.
We all have our guilty pleasures.
Okay, well, this is more of me trying to get out of the friend zone or being stuck in the friend zone. So I was doing anything to get.
oh, okay.
I went out and bought Alanis Morissette CD when it came.
Ooh.
Because the girl that was interested was listening to it in my car, and I'm like, well, I have to have the CD in my car at all times.
I love her.
Oh, she's so I could totally get in touch with her. Like, yeah, I'm down with the struggle. Like, I was like, okay, I have to have the CD in my car, so when she comes in my car, she'll see it. And of course, when all my guy friends got in the car, like that was like all the way thrown in the back,
Of course.
And then if they did see it, I'm like, oh, some girl left it there,
Was that the douchiest thing you ever did for a girl?
You definitely beat me on the douche factor with some of the things you've done. So,
Well, what do you know?
that you freaking like walked some girl to class and then in the rain or something, or you held a parking spot with your body.
no, I've done that. Yes.
I've done some douchey things. I told you that I drove past college to go pick up a girl on the other side of Brooklyn to come right back to college because I knew that if
okay.
if I didn't get her, she wasn't going to go to school. So I wanted to, I wanted to be at school with her, So I was that much of a friggin' loser.
I've I don't know if it's douchey. I feel like it is douchey. Like I've done things like during pictures, like graduation pictures in
Right.
college. For some reason, everyone needed like some sort of collared shirt. Even the women needed a
Yeah,
collared
you told
shirt,
me
so I
this.
took my shirt off.
I think you talked about
Another
this.
time, what I did was to really kind of like college. What I thought in my head was going to be like shocking funny, like, oh my God, this is so wacky, you know,
Right.
have me here right now.
Why can't you pick me?
Hold,
God, how pathetic are we as
oh,
men?
please. She was the Greek. She was in class, which was
You
in a-
really had it hard for that girl.
Oh, I was terrible in college because of her. Not me. I was just so clinged on. Yeah, like I thought that was all or nothing with that one.
Oh yeah, you always get that whole where like, if one day she's gonna say,
Yeah.
open up her eyes and goes, oh my God, it's been Frank this whole time,
Absolutely.
you know, and you're just doing everything in your power, and she's just gonna go, one day it's just gonna click, and I want to marry you.
Ugh. Wait, hold on. I
Ew.
have.
Oh,
I'm trailing off, and I got to stick to one story because
I'm
there's
getting nauseous
many
about
others.
myself right now.
So what I did was, I was going to surprise her in class. I had a jacket. So I had this jacket. It was a denim jacket, but it wasn't anything major. Not really major to the story, but I had a denim jacket that I was able to button close, and I wrote on my bare chest, "I'm sorry." So
What did you do?
I walked over.
What did you do that you were sorry?
God only knows. I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
So, and in my head, I'm like, she's gonna find this so funny, so wacky and funny.
Please tell me you didn't do it.
I walk over.
This is the Greek.
Yeah, like across campus. I like wave at her in class. So now I'm in the hallway.
And you didn't go to the school.
No, I went to Adelphi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, there you go. So, so she comes out of class, and I not like
What are you doing here?
Yeah, not like a like, you know, like a flasher, but like I kind of like just open the jacket. So now I have no shirt on, and this.
And you're not exactly in the best of shape.
Absolutely, I was a little better in college, but trust me, I wasn't still anything.
Larry,
good.
I'm embarrassed for you.
And it said like I'm sorry or something like that. Listen, I'm impressed I was able to write it in some sort of
backwards.
Yeah. She found it funny, but
And-
more like a, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like you took me out of class for
no
this.
one's seeing this, right?
So, and then she's like, okay, I can go back to class. I'll talk to you later. And then just went right back into
And
class.
she's like, "Oh my God, I had
So
sex with
now,
that." Was this after?
oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Did you have sex? Let me ask you a question. Did you have sex with her after that?
Eventual, not because of that.
No. After that moment when you opened up your jacket,
Yeah.
was there coitus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right.
So, and then so now I'm just standing there in the hallway, and I'm like, okay, I got to go back now to my room and clean up and everything.
okay.
So that was just.
What did you think? She was just going to get down on her knees and from the hallway?
No, but I just thought she'd be like, "Oh, you're so funny and witty, you know,
And so
silly me."
spontaneous.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know what I used to do in college? And I was so oblivious to the fact that what I was doing, I used to write poems to the girls about them and give it to them.
Oh, that is creepy.
Oh, yeah. No. Without a doubt. Now that I look back, I'm like, I would have put me on a list. Like, I would write, like, you know, like, I'm like, I'll just say, like, a name, like Julia. You know,
Sure.
Julia was so. No, this is.
Oh,
I
okay.
really. You know, I'm like, Julia, you know, like, not something like J reminds me of this and you reminds me, no, and L. No, I didn't do that. It was like, you know, I see you from across the hall. And I would like leave it out where they could find it or whatever. And I'm like, and I think your eyes are like deep blue pools of gay. I was just terrible.
Oh,
But I
man.
I took a lot of creative writing classes. So I used to
It didn't work.
like, no, I actually have some good stuff
Oh,
that's
now, yes.
not about like people. That's
Oh,
just not just about like, you know, poetry. on its own.
Harriet, sweet Harriet.
So loving, so love-ed, so caring, so. What was the next line? Stephanie loves that movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah,
Woman.
Dad.
Whoa,
man.
Whoa, man.
That's such a great movie. Underrated movie.
Jane, get me off this crazy thing.
We've got a piper down.
Call-
We've got a piper down.
That's the best
That's where Fat Bastard's original voice came from. Head, move.
The best is right before it. Like he's playing the bagpipes.
If you think I'm sexy.
If you want my body on, you think I'm sexy.
Okay.
Come.
So there was this one girl who I had a huge crush on. Her name was Janine, and she was in a sorority. And this is the schmuck that I am. I'm thinking, I'm like, I'll tell one of her sorority sisters how much I like her.
Oh boy.
But don't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You promise? Oh, I won't say nothing.
Were you in a frat by now?
Yeah, fraternity.
Yeah.
We don't say frat.
Okay. So you should
don't
know
call
the
your
rules.
country so don't call your fraternity a frat.
Okay. So in your frat, you
Fraternity.
told. Like you knew the rules of this group of paid friends that you have. So didn't you
All
realize?
right, listen, we're not going that route.
Didn't you
douchebag, okay? Because you know
realize-
nothing about it. I get defensive. So
Sure. Didn't you realize that that this person was not going to keep their mouth shut?
I was a moron.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so I was a blind. Put it this way, in college I could not. Two things. I was so obvious, so blatantly obvious. I was blind to it,
Okay.
and if a girl was giving me the green light, like signs, without saying, "Hey, fuck me,"
Oh, we've talked about this last time. Yeah.
I completely missed
no idea.
signs like
Yep.
like the worst catcher in the Major League Baseball, okay, or pitcher, I should say. I was horrible. So, and I'm like telling, I'm like, yeah, oh my god, I have such a crush on Janine. Why is she going out with that asshole?
Oof.
I hated her boyfriend. I hated him. He was a freaking like verbally abusive douche, and like I'm like, why can't she see that I'm right here? And I'm like, now I'm realizing they're going back to their sorority meeting going, Frank has such a crush on you, and then I'm like, and I'm literally sitting at the table with my fraternity brothers staring at her with like googly eyes, and like she's probably going, this fat fucking creep, but she was so cool that like we were friends. I was friend zoned before I even knew it, but I was just like, oh my god, this girl was drop dead gorgeous. Okay, fast forward years later, I'm out of college. I'm working at AIG in the city. I'm coming home from work. I remember I actually had to leave a little bit early, like a half an hour early, because I think I had just gotten the our apartment, and I was waiting for the Verizon to come to come set up the phones.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm on my way now, because they were supposed to come later. And I called my boss, said, just leave. So, and I caught an earlier train, and I get down to the platform. And who do I see across the platform? I mean, literally 5 feet from me, the same side, but she was going uptown, I was going downtown or whatever. And it's Janine. And I'm like, she's like, hey, Frank. And it was like, and I'm like, I got so nervous around this girl in college. It was like, hi, Janine, I'm Frank. How are you? And you okay? I couldn't speak right. So
It's
I'm
like
like,
Dreamweaver starts
yeah,
playing.
I'm like,
Wayne's World.
right. And meanwhile, now we have the internet, right? So I'm like, oh, what's up? I'm like, long time no see. I got a little bit more confidence, and I'm like, how's it going? I'm like, oh, are you still with, I want to say his name, but she's like, no, we broke up. And in my head, I'm like, yes. And I'm like,
Ding,
this
ding,
is-
ding, ding,
this
ding,
is
ding,
great.
ding.
I'm so in. I've waited. I've been patient. Like all my idiotness just came back, and I'm like, oh, I said, I'd love to get, love to talk.
Love to get in your pants.
Yeah. I'd like to take you out for lunch, 69. And she's like, yeah. She gives me like her AOL address or whatever, at the time.
Meet me at
So,
Comcast.
let's get a chat
Or
room,
CompuServe, yeah.
Net gear or
No,
whatever.
it was Netscape.
Netscape, right? So she gives me her email address, and I go home and I'm like, quickly, Verizon, hook up the internet, hook up everything. So he hooks it up, and I'm like, I waited back then. I waited, the 2 days,
Of course.
Gotta
let it simmer.
and let it simmer, and I messaged her and we talked, and I'm like, I have a confession. She goes, really? She goes, really? You're gonna confess to me that you liked me? And I'm like. This is all through instant message. I wish I would have printed this out. And I'm like, she goes, you were so blatantly obvious it was retarded. She was just like, and I'm like, I have to apologize to you. I was so stupid and naive because I had no clue. I had no game at all. And it's amazing. My 5-year-old son has more game than me. He's got girlfriends lined up in kindergarten and daycare and preschool. The kids it's creepy. Okay. So, and we're talking, and she's like, and I'm like, she's like, I wanted to smack you so many times because you ruined it. And I go, I ruined what? My fantasies in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
She goes, you ruined a good friendship. And I was like, okay, A, I didn't want to hear that, but B, I felt horrible. I felt terrible because I said, I'm sorry. I go, but I saw that, how he treated you. And I was like, I know I could have treated you so much better. I'm still in my mind convinced I still have a shot, because she's still talking to, and I'm like, listen, I said, let me make it up to you, I'll let me take you out for coffee, whatever. I said, nothing, no.
I'm going through this right now.
No expectations. And she's like, yeah, maybe we'll do that. Meanwhile, like she had no intentions of doing it, right? So, but we spoke a few more times on online, and then like we kind of lost touch. Fast forward again to Facebook. She gets on Facebook. Obviously, you start, befriending people that you haven't spoken to. You were a dick to me in elementary school, so let me friend you. And then you end up. And we're talking on Facebook again. And I'm still at this point, I was single. And I'm like, all right, third time's a charm. I'm like, I fucked it up in college. I'm like, I owned up to it, a couple of years ago on AOL. And now social media, I'm going to full on Facebook her, and I'm like, I'm not going to ask for nudes. I'm not going to send nudes. I'm just going to be totally cool. I'm going to play it cool. And she's like, oh, I heard from I just friended one of my pledge brothers, one of my fraternity brothers. This guy who
did.
No, she says, okay. I got a message the other day from one of my pledge brothers who was on Facebook, who was Johnny Stud in college.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, she's like, yeah, he asked me out on a date. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I wrote that. No. I'm like, no, you don't want to go out with him. I'm like, because I'm like, son of a bitch, he knew how much I liked her. This was 9 years earlier, okay? I was out of college like 9 years by now. I'm like, no, you bastard. I'm like, no, I'm cursing him out. And I think Verdi was in the other room, like,
really?
It might have been Rippo. I was in the apartment, and I'm like, no, you cocksucker. I'm like, no, this is the worst nightmare ever. And I was just like, please God, I'm begging you, don't let this happen. And he's like, yeah. She's like, I don't know. I'm thinking about going on a date with him, and I'm literally like on the verge of tears right now. I'm like, please, Lord, if there's a God in the sky, do not let her go out. And she ended up not going out with him, but then she got off Facebook. She's completely off social media, and every now and then she'll get tagged in a picture when she goes out with a group of her friends. I'm married now with 2 kids. She is still drop dead gorgeous. She has not aged since college. And it's like every time I see her, I'm like, God damn, I'm such an idiot. I wrote you poems. I'm a moron. How stupid could you possibly be?
Oh, man.
And there's a future guest I'm going to talk to her to see if she wants to come on. Not this girl, another girl who I'm friends with today. She knows I had a crush on her. She had like a little crush on me at one point, but it never happened. I actually just went to her house with my wife and kids, and her husband and kids were all friends. And I had a little crush on her. I almost ruined the friendship, but she was cool. We became very, very good friends. Good. She actually talked about wanting to be on the show because she has a ton of dating stories. She actually went on like a series of first dates on purpose, just to get free meals, and B, she was actually going to end up writing like a whole book about her first dates, and because we nicknamed every one of her dates. Like there was this one guy, I think his name we called him Johnny Cheeks. He was not heavy,
okay,
but he just had this fat face. He had
what do they call that? It's not like a deformity.
No, it wasn't a deformity. He was like it looked like a cherub. He was like a fat guy who lost a ton of weight, got really diesel, but his face stayed like Francis from Pee Wee Herman.
It's like the bad guy from Samurai Cop.
Sure.
How do you not see these movies? Samurai Cop is amazing.
I have 2 kids and I watch Nickelodeon.
The guy actually had like, it's called like cherubism or something, where like your jaw is like 3 times its size.
Oh, I know the actor you're talking about. No, this was just like I said. He had a fat, round face.
Okay.
And a regular
Gotcha.
regular, just a normal average build. But we called him Johnny Cheeks. I remember he took her to what's that Spanish singer,
More specific.
the one who was married to Mark Anthony, I think. No, he had a mole.
Ricky Martin.
I don't know, one of these Latin guys from the 90s or whatever, the
Menudo?
2000s. And she took her to the concert, but the concert was completely in Spanish, and just these nightmare stories. And she's actually asked me. I'm going to try and set it up. I told her she needs to get Skype so we can get her on the show. But yeah, I friend zoned myself so many times without knowing it. And I got to the point where one time I was picking up a girl in another sorority that I became very close with the sorority. I go to pick up her house. She actually lived in Garrett's Beach, where you live.
Oh, okay.
And purposely leaving her name out for a reason. But I went to pick her up, and she's like, "Yeah, she had like a basement." I don't know how all the houses are in Garrett's Beach, but she actually had a basement.
Yeah, most of them do.
Because I know it's a flood sometimes.
Not like it did a few years ago. But
she's like, "I'm in the basement. Come down."
My parents had a basement.
Okay.
Have.
And I come down, and this is where I knew I had to do something differently, because I come down and comes out of the bathroom in a bra and thong.
Oh.
And I'm like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Oh no, it's just you." And I was just like,
oh.
So in one thought, now I have that image ingrained in my head. So I got
absolutely.
spank bank for later.
Good to go.
And then the other pictures, I'm like, "Oh, it's just you." Like, if that was to be put on my tombstone, it's just Frank. It's just Frank. That night, I went out with her and two other girls to a club in the city.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other girls got completely drunk. Drop dead gorgeous girl. This girl, she looked like Cindy Crawford. She was,
Nice.
5'10", 5'11", skinny, wearing a mini skirt. I'm sitting at the bar, and I'm nursing a drink. They're all dancing. She's ripped off her face. This is a different girl than Thong Girl.
Okay.
This is her sorority sister.
Okay, gotcha.
Who used to date my fraternity brother.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, we had an unwritten rule where you kind of don't go after the ex, but that rule never...
That rule clearly didn't count for us.
Well, no. So she comes over to me, and she's drunk, and she's like, "Frank," and then just grabs my dick. And I'm like, "Whoa, okay." So I kind of I'm like, "Fuck it." I'm like, so I kind of pull her a little close, and I grab her ass. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, you just. She's like, "But it's just." And then her friend goes, "What are you doing?" She's like, "It's just Frank." And I'm like, okay, this is the point where I just drive off a cliff.
It's like what they do with their gay friends.
Yeah, I know. And again, let me finish. A week later, we were at another club, and we're all dancing, and I turn around, and there's a guy dancing up on me. And I'm like, I go, "Dude, what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, sorry, I go, "You thought wrong." I was like this. Of course, the three girls got a huge laugh out of that. And I was just like, yeah, I got to do something different. I got to do something different. So it was bad. I mean, I went on a string of a couple of horrible first dates, and then single for 2 years, and then it was at this point I was going to meet
the love of your life.
And then I was like, if I don't meet someone soon, it's either I'm going full gay or I'm going to become a priest. And then I went on a blind date with my wife.
Que sera.
Yeah. I don't know how I tricked her. But you know what? I actually did. I pulled the George Costanza. I did everything backwards.
There you go.
I did everything that I normally do on a first date backwards. Normally, I would get a long-stemmed rose, and when they would, get in the car, I would hand them the rose.
Oh.
Didn't do that. Sorry, Steph. You didn't get a rose. But
Get
you know
in
what
the
I
car,
did do?
biatch.
I bought her dog because I knew from talking to her she had a dog. I bought a dog a bone.
Oh.
I brought the dog. I said, win the dog, get the lady.
There you go. There's a commercial like that now.
Is there?
I don't know if it's a car commercial or not, but what it is, it's a guy first date with a girl, and I don't know, I forgot what kind of dog it is, but he's getting ready to get in the car, and the dog's just staring at him, just through the window, and basically every time he tries to get close to her, he's always there. They're on the couch, and he just has that look on his face, you touch her, you're dead. And then they're out camping and he puts like a blanket or something over her to keep her warm.
Right.
And then the dog's like, all right, you're cool. Then the dog
Okay.
comes over and
Right,
rubs up with him, and then she's
the
like,
dog fell in love with me from the instance, and then that dog became my dog, and that dog's actually in this room right now in that can, right there on the bookcase. Is it?
Oh,
Tin?
there it is.
That's in. Say hi to Georgie.
Hey,
That's
Georgie.
my little Ash dog.
Aw,
Yeah, I love that damn dog. So
good dog.
Yeah. So I did have a sudden interruption. I can't find it. I'm pissed. Is it under these albums? No, that's.
What do you got?
Oh, that's my laptop. No, I can't find it. It was a good one.
Well, it's always
Anyway.
next week. Next time.
There's always next week or next time. Look for us at the Victims and Villains podcast dropping in 2 days.
This drops on Wednesday. Theirs drops every Friday.
Right.
So it will be this Friday if you're listening when this drops. So basically October 6th is going to be our show.
Right. And on that note, we want to say thank you to Larry for being here. And thank you to our guest, Donald Trump, who came and went very quickly.
Absolutely.
And to our good friend, Harry Carey, to take us out.
Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here in the man cave with Frank and Larry. I love this show. If this show was made out of cheese, I'd eat it. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Josh from Victims and Villains, I love you. You got a moxie, kid. Larry, keep trying Tinder. Swipe right. Swipe right.
Did it work for you, Mr. Carey?
I don't even know what Tinder is. I knew my wife, she didn't know what Tinder was either. Tinder, I thought it was like Kindle. Or kindling. I meant kindling. Stokes the fire of my heart. On that note, everybody, this has been the Better Half Podcast. Find us at the Better Half Pod 1.
You can find Frank at Mess411 at Twitter.
You can find me at the emergency room right now at More365 on all social media, MOHR365.
And don't forget our Facebook page, The Better Half Podcast, Facebook.com.
Find it somehow.
And Cubs win. Cubs win.